So, Bigpod,
What?
I found yet another new hobby for me to work on.
Oh, great. What?
This time, because I've been messing around with like Warhammer armies and stuff like that.
Yes?
I figure instead of investing in an entirely new game system where I have to buy like a whole new series of third-party accessories to be able to play, I'll just make use of my Warhammer stuff and also start getting into buying like D&D miniatures.
Wow.
Thankfully, these are incredibly cheap in comparison.
Great.
Cue the music. Hey guys, welcome to No Tux Allowed, a Tuxbase Media Group production. I am your host, Josh, today, and today I am wearing my white t-shirt. It's just underneath this very worn Ohio State hoodie that I've had for 22 years. But with me today, I have brought my big friend, Bigpod.
Hi.
So, Bigpod, your shirt's green.
Yes, but before we continue, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You said you are Josh today. So what are you normally if you're not Josh?
That's a good question.
And we can continue with the show.
Of course we can. So, Bigpod,
What?
we have a lot of topics considering
Yeah.
the cloud.
Yeah.
Now, you all know that the audience at least knows you and I are big fans of the cloud, which is
Yep.
oftentimes you hear us joke about this being somebody else's computer, and I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here looking through like all of these articles, and I got like that old IBM commercial stuck in my head where they were constantly talking about the cloud and never really explaining what the cloud was. So I think we need to go through a bit of an explainer first as to what the cloud is. But before we did that, I wanted to talk about earrings.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bigpod,
Yeah.
I know that you probably don't have your ears pierced and you probably don't really wear earrings, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, let me attempt to sell you on this thing, because I know you are a
Okay.
bit of a fan of like these smart wearables to some extent. Just maybe not like the highest, but I have a problem with like smartwatches and stuff like that, specifically concerning around like their whole sleep
Yeah.
tracking feature. Well, I've never been able to
Okay.
sleep with a watch on, because it's always just attached to your arm.
Yeah, most of
You
the time.
feel it. It's just not very comfortable for me. I've been unable to do it. So I've never really been able
Same.
to make use of like the sleep tracking algorithm features that they advertise, and figure out like how that could be in any way beneficial to me, even though I already know that as an American I just don't normally get a full night's rest anyway, because that's just a thing that we do. So I get looking through like our news article feeds today, and I see Gizmodo has captured me with the clickbait in the title, "The Good Old Fashioned Way." When they post an article literally titled, "Welp, smart earrings are a thing now." So I know that you're pessimistic about this, Bigpod, but let me just
Yeah.
get talking about this here, right? Because in a world where we've got like rings, earbuds, wristbands, watches, and I guess Gizmodo is linked to this thing that scans your pee,
Yeah.
which I found kind of dystopian. You can get these earrings that are insanely small for what they do.
Okay. What do they do?
Okay. Well, first of all, these earrings advertise quite heavily that they can measure like your blood flow track, your blood flow, as well as do like the sleep tracking and the various different cycles that your body goes through the day. Like exercise. Like it could check like your heart rate and stuff like that. Mostly because it can just see like the blood flowing through the veins, and it's doing. And of course, it can also do like the thing that all these other devices can with a daily readiness score. But with these being earrings, I know several people off the top of my head that do go to sleep wearing earrings. Lighted, they don't wear the loop style earrings that these are, but
Yeah.
I think that this could be a device where if I want to expose myself to that kind of data, this could actually be a consideration. That said, it's not as useful as, say, like a watch, because I can't just use it to check the time or get like notifications. But at the same time, I have a phone in my pocket, so I can just check that too.
Yeah, but there is also a lot of things that it can't do, correct?
That's true. Like I can't manage my musical playback on the earrings and so on.
What about things like blood pressure, heart rate, and other actual like things, useful things?
It does advertise that it can check blood pressure, and because it's an earring, it has access to like the arteries in your to be able to see the arteries in your neck. So theoretically, I would say that it can see like your heart rate based off of like your blood pressure, because that can be calculated.
Yeah.
Lighted, it's doing this over ultrasound.
Yeah.
Which means that there's some medical regulations that it still needs to go through. So, like here in the U.S., it doesn't have FDA clearance yet, so it can't be for sale here. But it's apparently for sale somewhere because this company Lumia has released it. So you can buy it somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's also $250.
Yeah, and it has a $10 monthly subscription.
Yeah, so that's kind of killer on me because this is just another thing on the cloud that could be killed.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah. Alongside, of course, Microsoft Windows. Because, let's talk about what was said about Microsoft just earlier this week. Because I guess we have a Windows user on this show. So, Bigpod, you're the Microsoft Windows expert. What does it mean? What is going on here when, Microsoft is apparently going agentic with its operating system? That's a phrase I haven't. So the word agentic I have heard before. It's just been a very long time.
Well, today the word agentic is mostly connected with AI and use of agents. Don't ask me what the hell does that mean in terms of being an agentic OS. But Microsoft is trying to transform Windows into canvas for AI with new AI agents integrated in Windows 11 taskbar and all over the operating system. Basically, they want to make it feel like you can control everything through Copilot. So instead of going to change the brightness, you type into your chat window, Copilot, please change my brightness to a little bit brighter. The kind of thing I would have done by 7 times already, without the possibility of good old fashioned hallucinations.
I mean, if we're talking about screen brightness, we're probably talking in regards to a laptop, which most of the time they have function keys to do.
Yes. That was like my example. There are like other examples like changing like resolution or scaling of the display and stuff like that.
Okay, that's a little bit more complicated on Windows, so I can kind of understand that one. Because to my understanding, for like some display settings on Windows, you can't just do through like their whole settings program. You still have to like go
I
into like
bet those
advanced
still
options
won't
or
be
something like
able to
that.
be done through AI because it probably just uses a settings program in the background.
Yeah, yeah. Now we've got like the core details of like this preview in like it's already available in like the Windows Insider program. So I did link like the announcement in the show
Oh,
notes as well,
great.
and they are talking about HD voices in narrator and magnifier. So this is like this is an accessibility option. First of all, this is for like your screen reader,
Yeah.
the screen reader is a device that's used to read all the text on a page out to you. Because maybe maybe you're visually impaired in some way. Well, they've also got it added into like the magnifier as well, which will read whatever is being magnified.
Nice.
Because
But more importantly, it has on-device text-to-speech. Thankfully.
thankfully that's on the device, which hey, I'm fine with that. And of course, this narrator can also do like math.
Yeah, knowing how well math goes for AI, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, that said, if you would like to turn on the narrator and you're using the Windows Insider build right now, this is build 26220.7262. It is a simple keybind of Windows Control and Enter.
Oh, great.
So you can just do that. Now, there are some other options as well, because in like your in like the Windows settings, they have the wonderful system option where you can enable or disable all these agentic features. Yeah, they're also introducing AI actions in File Explorer, which you could see. Which in current build right now there is an issue where you might temporarily lose like image actions and Copilot summary actions, where for some reason the Copilot the AI software might not be able to like do like automated things that you have set to do with like images, such as like automatic scaling options or automatic conversions from like JPEG to PNG, because heaven forbid PNG is the superior format. Uh, and apparently it can't really summarize all the actions that it's taken. So I guess it's not putting out to a log file that the Windows UI can parse or something. I don't know, but they did temporarily pause the updates on the File Explorer, and I think that they rolled it back in the Insider build to something more stable, is what they're saying here at least. And of course, generally a lot of fixes being included into this. But let's talk about the writing on the wall that we've been saying here for basically since like we first started talking about AI and Microsoft Windows on this show. This is the inevitability. It's finally happening, Bigpod.
Yeah.
We are getting the AI operating system.
Yeah.
This is why Microsoft wants you to use a Microsoft account.
Yeah.
That way, everything can be attached to an account, and it's not that they want to control all your data. It's that they want you to make use of the AI.
They want to use their services.
Yeah. Now, everything is now available to an AI agent that's running either on your computer or somebody else's computer, because when we talk about somebody else's computer, we actually mean the cloud, and by the cloud we mean somebody else's computer.
Yes.
So, Bigpod, at this point, we should probably explain the cloud to the person that just does not know.
Okay, so let's start with the definition of what is cloud. And if you ask the ISO standard, or the ISO organization, actually, not understand about ISO organization, it is defined as a paradigm for enabling network access to scalable and elastic pool of shareable physical or virtual resources with self-serve provisioning and administration on demand.
So to break it down, you're on your personal computer. You open up a web browser. and you go to, say, google.com, that sends data traffic to Google's services, which then goes through whatever web server that they're using to send google.com back to you. It's
Yes.
using the resources of the cloud to generate that page and then hand it back to you.
Yeah.
That-
So, just to break down a bit more, so on-demand self-service, essentially, consumer can easily and on their own provision computing resources, whether it be in a corporate network, on your own network, or in someone else's network, on someone else's computer, such as server time, network storage, or anything without any kind of intervention from anyone else on the other side, including a system administrator. It requires broad network access, so you're able to access this network and these computing capabilities from broad set of client computing devices like thin and thick clients like phones, laptops, desktops, tablets, or anything else really which has network access. You need to have something called resource pooling, that you can pull together multiple resources like multiple servers, multiple storage devices, and more importantly, that you live next to other tenants, other people who use this service. You're not on your own completely, but there are others who use it as well, or who can use it as well, and you live side by side, not in your own like enclosed silo. It is rapidly elastic, which means you can quickly scale up and down, yada yada, and it has measured service, which means it is automatically controlled and optimized by leverage all sorts of metering capabilities and some sort of abstraction. For example, storage, it doesn't talk about disks, it talks about gigabytes. When you're doing processing, you just talk about cores, you talk about CPUs. With bandwidth,
so
it's a piece of bandwidth. It's not just, that's more like physical. You're not renting physical pieces of hardware or physical pieces of band. You're renting just pieces of it.
yeah, so let's think in terms of like,
And you pay for that.
well,
You also
of
pay
course.
for that stuff.
So
if
let's
it's
talk about
public.
this from like the consumer point of view. When we're talking about the cloud, we're talking about like, files, file management, like
Yeah.
on Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive or those services like that. That's typically what people think of as the cloud, because really that's where it got its
Those
start.
are the canonical cloud services
Yeah.
that
Now,
are
as
really
like
public is aware of.
Yeah, now if you're working more in like a media creation role, you're well aware that YouTube does its own transcoding on your videos.
Yeah.
That's also a cloud service that YouTube does.
Yeah.
To just generate those different quality levels of videos, so that way if I'm running on my super fast internet connection, I get the highest bit rate, highest frame rate possible, because I have the bandwidth to support it. But if I'm on my slower internet connection but I still want to watch the video, I still have that option of that lower bit rate, lower resolution video as well.
Exactly.
That's just already there. So that is a function of the cloud. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is what happens when Microsoft goes down and things stop working.
Well,
What if,
Microsoft going down isn't such a problem?
right? You think?
Normally there is not that many services that run on Microsoft.
But this is adding more. Now,
Well, yes.
let's use the Microsoft Authentication Server as an example. Now, obviously, they're going to have like a very, very intelligent design with like fallback connections and everything going on. But let's just say that all of Microsoft's remote authentication goes down, and now suddenly nobody can log into their computer. That's a problem.
Yeah. But I'm not sure that's actually how it works.
Probably not.
Because if you pull out the cable, can you still log in?
I don't actually know, to be honest with you, because
As far as I know, you can.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, most of the authentication is actually local based, if I remember correctly.
I would hope that that's actually the case, because I know that on like early generations of the Chromebook it was not the case, and that got fixed real fast. But we're seeing more and more uses of like just these internet enabled products in like desktop applications on the Windows platform, such as the AI integrations and so on. Now, a lot of these AI integrations do run locally on the system, especially on like a more modern day system built with like these dedicated hardware accelerators for AI, which is where you're hearing
for
like these
AI inference, the whole AI, what is it called? Not neurotic.
and I mean, I was just going to talk about
neural cores.
Yeah, neural processing cores, so
Yes.
NPUs,
Exactly.
as you might see. That's
Neurotic.
being put onto a lot of GPUs and a lot of CPU chips nowadays as like
Yeah.
additional accelerators you can just have on your system.
You also have things like tensor cores and similar technologies as well.
Yeah, so those are all just AI accelerators, and of course, the more the better. Generally speaking, because that allows you more flexibility in what you're able to do. Now, that doesn't mean that everything's going to be ran locally, because heaven forbid, when it comes down to like say scaling a video from like a lower resolution to a higher resolution, there are tools you can do it locally on your system. But depending on how massive you want to go, maybe you might want to have that offloaded to the cloud and have the cloud do it. Obviously, you're going to pay for it.
Of some sort.
Yeah, you're probably willing to pay for it if that's going to be the case. But let's just say that server goes down, and that next thing that happens, you're doing it locally on your computer, and it's taking way longer than it normally does because, heaven forbid, your computer might be underpowered for the task.
Yeah. Important to note that might not have been apparent. There is actually, you should have public clouds, which are your Amazon, Azure, GCP, or you can have a private cloud, which is basically a small-scale cloud.
Ah, yes.
Whether it be in your company or even at your own home.
Yes. Now, it is possible for Microsoft to make use of other computers that are running Microsoft Windows on your local network. That's just a capability that they have.
Also, that's also an option, yes.
Yeah. Or in Bigpod, in my case, we're nerds and we have these things called home labs where we intentionally set the stuff up to do this ourselves. Because heaven forbid, I like having my own private Nextcloud server. It's really convenient sometimes.
And I love having my cloud, my private cloud, which consists of, let's be clear, 2 machines.
Yeah.
But it sounds much more fancy when I say private cloud than a home lab.
It sure does. Unfortunately, it doesn't look nearly as good on a job resume as what it used to. It's like, I have a server at home. That used to just get you hired just saying that statement.
Yeah.
Thankfully, job recruiters got a little bit smarter to that one. So, why are we touching on the cloud so much? Because a thing happened today, Bigpod.
Yep.
A thing happened. It finally happened. Cloudflare went down.
Yeah. Good old Cloudflare.
Now, thankfully, Cloudflare's already back up. But Cloudflare was down for a very short amount of time. And the fact that it took down not just the site formerly known as Twitter, but also McDonald's ordering kiosks, just tells you how massive Cloudflare kind of is. Because Cloudflare, as far as I can tell, was only down for a few hours.
Yeah. Among others, web pages like Printables was also unavailable
Yeah, printables. A couple companies that do like background checking for things, and even like Down Detector had some network issues as well because
Yeah.
one of their they have a couple servers that run through the Cloudflare network as well. So, this was obviously reported first by Down Detector because that's kind of just like their job. And this for some context here, we're so early on this that we don't even have like an official post from Cloudflare saying that, hey, this is a problem. This is what we think happened. We only have, hey, this is a problem kind of post right now.
Yeah. And we're talking about Cloudflare, who would post this kind of stuff really quickly.
Yeah.
So there is probably still evolving of what actually happened.
Yep. Now the CTO has already come out with a statement, and I don't actually know his name because our Tom's Hardware did not mention it. It just says Cloudflare CTO. So I don't actually know his name, but he comes up.
Cloudflare CTO. Okay,
Yeah.
I know of him, just can't remember the name.
Well, anyways, he came out with a statement while you're looking this up. First of all,
Dane Knecht.
Yeah, Dane Connect.
Knecht, I think. Knecht.
Connect. Okay, well that sounds very similar to Connect, which is awkward because Cloudflare is a networking company.
Yeah.
So he comes out with a statement giving the typical corporate apology of, hey, we know that things rely on us and we're sorry for being down. That's fine. But he does share a little bit about what happened. Referring to a latent bug in service underpinning our bot mitigation capability that started to crash after a routine configuration change they made. It degraded it into a broad degradation of their network and other services because, this is a configuration issue. There was no attack. That issue and the impact it caused and the time to resolution is simply unacceptable. They're already working to get everything back up and running.
Good.
So, cool. That was 8 hours ago.
Yeah, and they've been up for like probably 4 hours now.
Right. So, for context of the record here, they were only down.
They were up for those 8 hours now since the Cloudflare CTO spoken. The length of was it like 4 hours. I got mixed up in those two numbers.
Okay. So for the context of the record here, the total downtime was roughly 3 hours.
3 to 4 hours, yeah.
And it took down McDonald's, which that alone can tell you how much of a financial impact that it made.
Yeah.
Because McDonald's is not a small company. It also took down Twitter, but at the same time, I don't care about Twitter, so it's fine. I'd just rather talk about McDonald's because, at least you could get something out of, paying for McDonald's. So, with Cloudflare going down, not that long after AWS went down, not that long after somebody else went down.
Oh, wow. There are things like background check websites for nuclear power plants that went down. Daycare's systems went down, and so on.
Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a lot of companies that, if they don't directly use Cloudflare, they route through Cloudflare at some point in at least their DNS stack.
Yeah, and among other things, ChatGPT and Claude.
Oh, of course. The things of the future. So, We're probably
And
gonna have some more updates on this when we get like their whole breakdown report, because that's
yeah,
always nice to read.
their
When
whole post
Cloudflare,
mortem.
yeah, Cloudflare postmortems are always very educational to read,
Yeah.
because they have to explain to the corporate guys that have no idea what they're talking about. So I'm glad that they're willing to post those, and for like their own outages, they typically post them pretty quick. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one. So I think Bigpod, that's it for our topics of the day.
Before we do that, we need to talk
Oh.
about our side of this issue.
All right, we probably should, because we've talked about using Cloudflare before. We finally were impacted by something because we
Yes.
chose not to self-host it.
Yes. So, as part of our deployment, we're using one of Cloudflare's many services called R2. R2 is their alternative to S3, using S3 compatible protocol, API protocol. Well, we're using it for mass storage of things like files, like actual podcast episodes, and stuff like that. Well, if Cloudflare is down, you cannot get our episodes because our storage backend is down.
Yeah, so this only affected people that subscribe to us through our RSS audio feed.
Yes,
That's it. That doesn't affect YouTube,
Yes,
which we also post to. So
Yeah.
we have a bit of built-in redundancy that hopefully our audience knows about, because we mention it like every single episode.
yeah. Josh, are we doing anything to mitigate this in future?
Right now, probably not, because scalability is a thing that we can totally do, but we kind of need funding to be able to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we need more people to go to patreon.com/notalksallowed. Give us some money so we can justifiably pay for this, because you got to remember, we're paying for all this stuff out of pocket. We're not at the point where we actually have to pay for Cloudflare, but that doesn't mean that we won't be getting there sometime soon. Because who knows? Maybe one day we could have a podcast episode that just gets 1 million requests to download. I'd
Yeah.
be excited to see that, and I'm sure Bigpod
Me
will
too.
be excited to troubleshoot that.
yeah, exactly.
But help us hedge our bets for the future. Go to patreon.com/notalksallowed. Drop us a couple of dollars there. As a thanks, we will give you access to a premium audio feed that includes a higher bitrate audio, as well as some bonus content, such as a pre-show. We don't record those every single week, but oftentimes we actually do. And Bigpod and I have some very interesting conversations sometimes that might be worth a listen. Oftentimes it boils down to us explaining how the United States works and the EU works to each other. But
Yes.
that is a thing that happens on an almost weekly basis. But hey,
Yeah.
I'm certain that if you're wanting to learn a little bit about how government actually works,
Yeah.
maybe drop us a couple dollars there, and catch us in there every now and then. Of course.
And if you wanna talk to us, you can send us an email at contact@tuxbase.com.
Yes.
Same email can be used if you're willing to support us, but you would like to get something more substantial in return, like for example podcast hosting.
Yes, because we can do
Email
that
us.
too.
Email
Yeah,
us, and
just-
we can talk about how we can host your podcast, or if you're let's say a manager of a podcast, it might not be your podcast, but you can say where it will be hosted. We would also appreciate your email, so we can get a business on.
Yeah, because we can do that, and I know that there's several people that I have spoken with that said, I wish I could just host my own podcast. That way, I didn't have to host it through Spotify or iTunes or YouTube or anything like that. We're an independent source. We can totally do that.
Email us at contact@tuxbase.com.
if all else fails, you can contract Bigpod now, and he can set it up for you.
Yes.
So, obviously, if for some reason you want to talk, you just want to like stalk our community, you go to tuxbase.com/discord. That will send you an invite link to Discord where you can talk with everybody, make some new friends. I always appreciate people making friends. We should all become friends because the more friends we have, the better we are as people. So Bigpod, I think that's the show today.
Yep. Well, see you next time. Goodbye.
Yep. See ya.